Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. Our heroes today are going to be Zero, playing for the Soviets. And his opponent is going to be the Courier of the Mojave, playing for the Germans. So, I checked both players before the game started here, and they are both ranked around the 500s, respectively. So, yeah, I mean, we should expect a decent game between them. So, so yeah, let's see what ends up happening. So, anyways, build order wise, the Mojave went ahead and built himself Tier 1, like you would expect most German players to do so, but he did so with his second Pioneer, which isn't usual. I mean, it's not unheard of or unseen, and not bad by any means, but yeah, he sent out his first Pioneer onto the field to cap, and built a second one, which built Tier 1, and that is, well, not that, and then is when he built himself his grants, obviously, so 2 Pio opening into Tier 1, so we'll see how that works out. For Zero, he built himself, conscripts, the huge. You don't really see much changing as far as the Soviets go. Although, this is a very interesting place for the HQ to be. Has that always been the case? I thought it was always around here in this road fork, whatever thing. It's a little bit too far on the edge of the map. I mean, you can see this one is a little bit more closer. Again, in between the fork, but interesting. Oh well, whatever. It really shouldn't matter much. I mean, I guess it'll be working against Zero a little bit, since his units are going to take a little bit longer to get into the field. Anyways, down south in the cutoff point that is so easy to harass and so good to harass. We see conscripts engaging against the Grenadiers from Mojave. Grenadiers keeping their distance, just shooting in light cover from that fence. The conscripts are out in the open, but they do manage to actually get that cutoff point completely capped, so that is denying the southern portion of the map for the Courier. And we see an engagement up north, and that is Pios against Combat Engineers. Combat Engineers back off a little bit after taking a lot of damage to those Pios up close to their SMGs. They do get into light cover, so they might be able to pull it off, but they have already lost one man. MG42 now in the field for the Mojave, and he is opening up on conscripts. Conscripts pushing forward to Ura right on top of those grants, trying to decap that point. They manage to push those grants off of the point and get themselves into light cover. Conscripts do manage to jump into the house and are now getting focused by that MG42. MG42 is a little bit of a wasted resource at that point, considering that it's not going to do a lot of damage shooting those conscripts in the house, and, well, the other squad could have actually been more susceptible to the MG fire. However, the Grens do manage to push him off of the field, and they are going to recapture that point, connecting the southern portion of the map for the Mojave. Conscripts in that house are going to get rifle-nated, probably? No, it doesn't look like. They do jump out of the house and are going to run away. 2 Grenadier squads attempting to chase, but it looks like they're not going to pursue them, and the MG42 is just simply going to move up, probably going to take position in the church. For Zero, we see him, well, getting medics after getting the 3 conscripts and getting Molotovs, so not a bad choice there. So MG42 actually setting up in the road, getting a suppression on those conscripts, forcing a retreat, and one of those men gets shot while trying to retreat by those Grenadiers. Conscripts over here on the munitions point just set up in the heavy cover. Heavy cover also got moved, if I'm not mistaken. It was around here before, but yeah, heavy cover with the cart there, making it very easy for the player on the left-hand side to defend this position in heavy cover. Right in front of Zero's base, we see the Combat Engineers engaging Pioneer Squad. Pioneer Squad ends up jumping into the house, so the Combat Engineers just simply back off to be out of range of those SMGs, or, well, effective range, that is. And they're going to continue fighting, probably. No, actually, they decide to retreat back to base, and are probably going to build some type of spec. Medics down the field healing up the forces. Conscripts just running past some Grens. It looks like they're going for the fuel. And up north, we see LMGs equipped on the Grants for Mojave, and we see the conscripts for Zero jumping into the house to get a more defensible positions. Grants will be able to... Ooh, very nice dodge there by those conscripts of Zero. They managed to dodge that rifle nade and are probably going to jump back into the house. No, they decide to stay out of there for a little while, and now they're back in the house. Center of the map, conscripts and flamethrower engineers pushing forward. There is an MG42 in that house now, so that's going to be very annoying for Zero to clear out. The combat engineers push on forward. They are taking a lot of losses. The flamethrower is unable to throw a burst into the house and forces both of those squads to retreat. Down at the fuel point, the Gurens do manage to push up the conscripts, now down to 2 men. They are going to get shot on the retreat by that MG42. We shall see if they actually manage to stay alive. The conscripts up north do throw a Molotov right on top of those Grens. Very nice Molotov landing on top of the entire squad. It's down to 1 man. Ooh, very nice pickup there for Zero. Manages to actually clear out an entire Gren squad, while the Courier of Mojave was a little bit distracted. MG42 not managing to get a shot off on those conscripts, and that is because it saw the conscripts coming up behind it. Changed direction, sets up, they got out of sight, so you know the MG42 is just setting up in all the windows trying to get a shot off, and well, it takes a while to set up. Grens going up north, trying to avenge their falling brethren. The conscripts are still at 2 men, trying to capture the point. The Grens themselves are not moving forward, and now they are pursuing. The conscripts decide to just move out of the way and Ura, and they're probably going to Ura around that fence and then retreat. I wouldn't suggest anything else. And, well, they're still going. I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do. The Grenadiers do appear to be trying to hunt them down a little bit, but they are going to stop there to capture that point. So, for the most part, the Mojave does have an advantage in the map right now. We do see that Zero selected his doctrine, and that is the shock rifle frontline tactics, and got himself a shock rifle squad. Not much else he can get right now because he only has 1 command point, but that will allow him to get KV-8s and an IS-2 if he so desires. Mortars now on the field. No, actually not a mortar, a rifle nade from the guards, the Grenadier, sorry. But the conscripts do manage to dodge that quite nicely and force away that Gren squad. So we see that Zero is trying to recapture the southern portion of the map, sending his shock troops there. The 2-man conscript squad did end up retreating and is... Under fire! Ooh, down to 1 man, very low in health. Very risky there for Zero, having that conscript squad out in the field, especially since it is the only vetted squad on the game. I mean, on the field for Zero, that is. Ooh, nasty. Ooh, very nasty rifle nade landing right on top of those conscripts. Gets 3 men and very low health on the rest of the squads, and they force a retreat. Combat engineers with flamethrowers just capturing that point. They will engage these pioneers and Grens, but it looks like they're in the losing end of that fight. Scout car now on the field for the Mojave. We shall see how effective that is. He is on the hunt for shock troops, and that is precisely the squad that it needs to actually hunt down and actually get up close. The shock troops can't really do much but throw a nade at it, and if you keep it moving, very unlikely that the nade is actually going to detonate under it. And there it goes. The scout car is pushing forward. For some reason not shooting at the shock troops, and there it goes now, finally opening up on the shock troops, but not doing a lot of damage. Shock troops did manage to cut off the point, or well, decap the point, so less fuel income for the Mojave. But we now see the northern portion of the map being captured by the Mojave, and nothing in the area that Zero can do against it. Zero, however, is getting himself tier 2, or got himself tier 2, and may be waiting for tier 3, not exactly sure if that's what he's trying to do, but be a completely bad choice, especially because he can get an IS-2 later on. Nice rifle nade there by those Grens. Gets those conscripts down by 2 men and some health damage. About half health on the squad, that is. Up north we see a 2 conscripts and combat engineer push. Those pioneers getting retreated right away. Grenadiers also retreating in the face of all this infantry. And this is going to give Zero a chance to capture the northern part of the map. Down south, we see the conscripts retreating in the face of that scout car, and the shock troops are just simply capturing territory. Still not taking a lot of damage. Mojave should be a little bit more aggressive with that scout car against the shock troops, and the shock troops can't really do much against it. MG42 does set up to do some damage to those conscripts and ends up killing one of them, but 2 men make it alive, so the conscript squad is going to be just fine. Tier 2, we already know that is up for the Mojave, and he is getting himself a Panzer Grenadier squad, so quite nice. MG42 getting, well, mauled by the shock troops, but the shock troops do end up not able to clear it off, and it makes it out alive at 1 man. Scout car pushing forward, taking some shots by those PPSHs, but itself is not shooting at those shock troops. There it goes, opens up and does a little bit of damage. They're down to about 75% health, but again, needs to get all up in their face. It is going to take a lot of damage by those SMGs up close, but it can do a lot more damage itself, and especially against shock troops. And there we go. We actually now see the scout car finally on top of the shock troops. Does manage to get one kill and forces the retreat. So finally, something goes its way. And we now see the autocannon upgraded for the scout car. A little bit. I mean, it's not a wasted resource per se, because you still keep that anti-infantry capability on the machine gun, and you gain the you know, light vehicle, or well, even S285s take damage to that. So the autocannon is also going to do some damage to the infantry. So it's essentially a damage DPS increase overall, but might have been some better options for that. Those munitions, maybe getting more LMGs on the Grens potentially, but we'll see if it works out. AT gun now on the field for Zero. It does set up to aim at the scout car. The scout car does back off, but the AT gun takes a shot. Very nice shot, actually destroys the engine. So that scout car is going to go down. It does need to get sight range again of the scout car, but if he just pushes the conscript forward, can actually get some shots off on the scout car and finish it off. Doesn't even need to be with the AT gun. And here we go. The conscripts do get right in front of the scout car. One of the men actually goes down, but they finally throw a little volley there on their rifles, and down goes the scout car. So nice pickup there for Zero. So yeah, in that situation, I guess it was a little bit of a wasted ammunition for the Mojave. He could have used an LMG on his Grens instead of that. But, well, hindsight is 2020. Panzer Grenadiers now pushing forward. They're going to get right on top of that AT gun. The AT gun is packing up and moving up, but the Panzer Grenadiers do stop for some reason, and they're not going to be able to get on top of those that AT gun. Shock troops up north engaging an LMG Gren. The LMG on the Gren is retreating, actually, so very easy fight there for the shock troops. Conscripts trying to retreat, running in between a Gren squad and the Panzer Grenadiers, and the Panzer Grenadiers just execute them point blank. A bundle nade right in the path of these conscripts would have been beautiful, but oh, it is. Oh, very nice damage. Down to 3 men on that one conscript squad, and it forces the retreat on both of them. The Panzer Grenadiers are now in beast mode, and a Panzer IV has just hit the field and is going straight into Zero's base, it looks like. There isn't much on the field that Zero can do. He does have 2 AT guns, so that Panzer IV is going to have to back off. It is going to meet a nasty surprise right now if it stays there. No, it turns around and is going to be just fine. Both AT guns do set up in the same angle, which isn't the best thing, but, you know, they need to spread out a little bit. There they go. One is going north, and the other one is still set up defending. Very nice. Panzer IV, though, does simply just back away and is going to go hunting for some shock troops, and those shock troops definitely can't do anything against the Panzer IV. Another Panzer Grenadier squad getting produced for the Mojave, so that is a lot of anti-infantry capabilities, and Zero needs to do something about that. He does have tier 2, so Maxim machine gun could, you know, prove useful against that infantry, but it isn't the best. Still, couldn't hurt. Shock troops retreating in the side of that Panzer IV. They are, for the most part, really not damaged. They've taken a little bit of a beating by the machine guns on the Panzer IV, but no men have actually died, and they make it out alive at full strength. So nice preservation there of manpower for Zero. Conscripts pushing into the center against the Grens. Nice rifle nade going into the house, doing some damage to the combat engineers, and a second conscript squad is capturing that strategic point. Ooh, but another conscript squad lost for Zero. This is not turning in his favor right now. Panzer IV throws a nasty shot into the house, killing 2 of the combat engineers and forcing away the last guy at a very sliver of health. Conscript still holding ground here in the strategic point. They decide to jump into the house. They get some more shots off. Very nice barrage there by the AT gun. Actually clears out that MG42. So the infantry for Zero actually has a chance of pushing onto the field. Panzer Grenadiers do get pushed away by the shock troops, losing 2 men on the retreat. And the Gren squad is holding ground right in front of the conscripts. Conscripts are at 5 men, taking some shots by that Panzer IV. We see more artillery barrages being used. Well, actually, no, it was just a standard shots by that AT gun. And the second one moves up north, actually, and takes a nice shot on the side armor of that Panzer IV, doing about 25% damage, and it's now backing off. Shock troops pushing forward right on top of the Grens. Nice nade going right on top of that. Gren squad actually kills out an entire Gren squad. But the Shock troops did actually take some splash damage, bringing him down to about half health. Still at 6 men though, and in the face of the Panzer IV might be able to do a lot of damage to them. The AT gun is pushing forward, trying to get into range, and down goes 3 of those Shock troops due to their low health. And they are now in the face of a Panzer Grenadier squad. They do end up retreating. The Panzer Grenadier squads are going to do a lot of damage. Down to 2 men to the Panzer IV. Can they actually make it out alive? They are taking some sustained fire, although the AT gun is the focus of the fire from the Panzer Grenadiers. So the Shock troops do make it out alive. AT gun does get cleared out. Does the Panzer IV go in for the kill? It looks like it is going in for the kill. The other AT gun is set up in a position where it cannot defend that AT gun. So no, unfortunately the Mojave is not doing that. This would have been a perfect opportunity. It looks like he might be trying to steal it, I suppose. But I mean, he could just simply move the Panzer Grenadiers here and then set up there. I don't know, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, if he wasn't going to take it, he could have moved up his Panzer IV and attacked it from there, kill it off, and make sure that at least Zero can't, you know, recrew it. But, oh well. Yeah, it looks like he was going for the steal. Not exactly sure why he waited, but oh well. These Grenadiers are not going to get cleared out by the Shock troops. They're not even going to be able to move the gun, so yeah. I mean, he could have very easily moved the Panzer Grenadiers to capture the point and move the Grens back there to, you know, get it moving earlier. But, well, that is Mojave's mistake and Zero's opportunity there to capitalize. And he did clear out those Panzer Grenadiers. The one Grenadier did make it out. I'm sorry, it was Grenadiers, but yeah. Flak Panzer now on the field for the Mojave, so this is going to be very difficult for Zero to deal with. He could get his AT guns flanked very easily. Both AT guns now moving to the north. They're trying to dissuade that Panzer IV from, you know, pushing forward. And they are supported by the Shock troops, so at least he is keeping his unit supported. Flak Panzer going into the center of the map. He can actually get a flank on these AT guns, but it's actually moving in the worst angle possible, although it can go straight here and get on top of that AT gun. We shall see if that happens. Panzer Grenadiers push on forward right on top of the 18-8s and the Shock troops, but he is retreating down to 1 man. Can he make it out alive? He is at a very healthy amount of health there, and it looks like he's going to be fine. Flak Panzer opening up on the Shock troops. The AT guns do take note of that and turn to face it, but they are exposed now to the Panzer IV. Panzer IV moves up, but it decides not to go for it. It is at half health, so he doesn't want to risk it. Down south, we have the combat engineers for Zeros just capturing territory, while we have Panzer Grenadiers in the forward strategic point, just decapping. So, again, this is a very difficult situation for Zero, and we have a little glitch there on the overlay. Well, yeah, it is on the overlay, but it is because of the overlay. The AT gun that got recrewed is now just there permanently at 0, but whatever. Black Panzer moves down south to shoo away those combat engineers. Combat engineers do take some decent amount of damage, down to 3 men, and they are going to retreat. They are going through Panzer Grenadiers, but the Panzer Grenadiers are getting roasted alive by that KV-8 for 0, and they are retreating at 1 man. 0 does love his KV-8s, though. I've seen several replays of him getting those, so yeah, it's a very nice strategy, though, so not bad by any means. And considering he has that IS-2 Colin, he could simply just wait for that and use that against the tanks instead of having to build some tiers. So, not a bad choice, you know, just get tier 2 and straight into your Colin tanks. Panzer IV taking some shots at those Shock troops. AT gun moving up. It's gonna be flanked by a Grenadier squad. Grenadier squad looks like it was trying to go for the MG42, but it is stopping. Flak Panzer flanking that AT gun quite nicely. Is gonna clear it out, or well, decrew it quite easily. Nice rifle nade on top of the AT gun, does extra damage, and down goes the AT gun crew. Flak Panzer does take a, was it a rifle nade? No, not rifle nade, I mean 18-8 it looks like by the conscripts. Yeah, it was an 18-8, so does get a damaged engine, but 0 is basically now losing his AT guns. The Panzer IV though did get cleared out though. Combination of the AT gun and the KV-8. The AT gun, did it actually get the kill? Yeah, vehicle destroyed one, so very nice. Keep in mind that the Flak Panzer is not going to do a lot of damage to the KV-8, so if you switch over to the main gun, it could actually do some good damage to the Flak Panzer, especially unsupported. Smoke barrage is being called in by Mojave, trying to do some decent damage. KV-8 now taking some damage by the Flak Panzer on the rear armor, but it is a heavy tank, so it's going quite fine. Black Panther taking a beating by the KV-8. The KV-8 isn't the best against tanks, but against the Black Panther, well, might as well just auto-destruct, I suppose you could say. So yeah, we can see there that it's doing some very good damage, and down goes the Black Panther. So Cyril must be feeling very good in this situation. We do hear some shots going down by something. Oh, interesting. We see a left artillery piece being produced here by the Mojave. It is shooting at the munitions point, which the Panzer Grenadiers are not capturing, but here comes the KV-8. It's going to roast those Panzer Grenadiers alive, and down to 3, down to 2. They do hit retreat. Chase him, chase him, chase him. Don't let him get away. And down to 1, and down. It is impressive what that KV-8 can do, and that Pioneer retreats, even though the KV-8 didn't even see it, essentially. Panzer IV now on the field. It looks like it's actually going to go try to hunt that KV-8. It knows where it is. Panzer IV can actually do a decent job against the KV-8 on a one-on-one. I think the Panzer IV can actually win, although I guess it depends if it gets those penetrations. If the KV-8 maintains its forward frontal armor against it, I think it takes a long-ass time for it to kill it, so we'll see what happens. Grenadiers down south, recapturing territory, but here comes the KV-8. KV-8 is on the hunt, and it's going to go straight for those Grens. Those Grens need to retreat right now. They are retreating. Oh, no, they're going in the wrong direction. Although, actually, that's kind of the best direction to go through, because the KV-8 had to turn around. So, yeah, not bad. Grens actually make it alive at 3 men. They are running through shock troops. The shock troops do stop to try to take some shots, but the Panzer Grenadiers are nearby, so they're going to stop those shock troops. Artillery rounds landing right on top of this AT gun, it looks like. No? Center map? Where's it landing, actually? Yeah, center of the map. Well. KV-8 pushing forward, just running through all the hedges. Since it's a heavy tank, it doesn't matter, or it doesn't care, that is. And down goes another Panzer Grenadier squad. So this is turning very rapidly into Zero's game. That KV-8 essentially turned the game around, especially being able to get the kill on the Panzer IV, the original one. Second Panzer IV is just moving around, actually trying to hunt the shock troops, it looks like, and the KV-8 as well, but it isn't having any luck running into it. Grenadiers up top, capturing that munitions point, and victory point wise, we have 204 points for Zero, while the Mojave still sitting at a comfortable 395. Currently, Zero, though, does have 2 of the victory points in his possession, so he is starting to take away at those points. Panzer IV now running into those shock troops, going to start taking some shots, but the shock troops will be able to, at the very least, decap that point. They do hit retreat. They don't want to die in the face of that Panzer IV, and they're going to make it alive with a very decent amount of health. Conscripts and combat engineers pushing forward, going through the gap that the KV-8 made, and the Grenadiers do end up retreating in the face of another shock troop squad. This shock troop squad is actually at Vet 2, so very nice veterancy there. Veterancy, they get the same as conscripts, which is increased accuracy and durability, but, well, they are shock troops, so they're going to do a lot of damage. Panzer IV getting rushed by the conscripts and the flamethrower engineers. We do see a incendiary barrage getting called right on top of those Grens. The Grens do run away, though, so the incendiary barrage isn't really going to do much. The second Gren squad is in the edge of the fire, so they do take a little bit of damage, but, well, not much overall. AT gun does move forward, and it doesn't actually manage to take a shot at the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV does back off. Another artillery barrage being called in onto the munitions point. Actually, it does a lot of damage to the shock troop, but the shock troops do manage to retreat and make it out alive. And the KV-8 is going straight into the base. It's going to get fausted by these Grens. The Grens are, ooh, very nice. Actually gets a crit on the engine. And the artillery gun is going to get decrewed. Can't very simply get recrewed, though. Panzer IV comes into the area and starts taking some shots at the KV-8. The KV-8 is going to lose this fight as it doesn't get any support. AT gun is moving up to support it. Can it get there on time? However, that is what we shall see. There's a second AT gun on the field for Zero, but that is back as it's back at his base. So unfortunately, that means that the KV-8 might be going down. No, actually, he does back off. He did manage to actually do enough damage to the Panzer IV with the presence of his AT gun that the KV-8 is going to be just fine. KV-8 does have a damaged engine. It needs to hit reverse, not turn around. Oh no, it is turning around. Don't turn around. Well, there are Grens pushing forward, trying to get a kill. The Panzer IV could move up and take some pot shots at it. And we now see an IS-2 on the field for 0. That is probably game, I would say. There isn't much on the field that Mojave can do against it. It can simply go straight into his base and kill off the Panzer IV without much of any trouble. And that would be it. Artillery gun trying to get some hits on the KV-8. The KV-8 does run over and burn alive one of the Gren squads. For the Mojave, it does turn around, but takes a side shot by the Panzer IV, and down goes the KV-8. It had served 0 very well, but now we have an IS-2 on the field, which is going to avenge the KV-8. The KV-8 is, well, gonna be very happy that the IS-2 is on the field. Very nice shot on that. Panzer IV does a lot of damage to the frontal armor. Panzer IV taking a retaliatory shot on the IS-2, and actually does very nice damage on the frontal penetration. We do see the IS-2 take a second shot, and down goes the Panzer IV. Panzerfaust being... No, it actually doesn't get off by those Grens, and the IS-2 decides to back off. Not entirely sure why that is, considering that, well, he knew that there was only one Panzer IV, so he could go straight for the base, for the jugular, kill off that artillery, do some more damage, and there is a apparently Stug being produced for Mojave, but, well, I mean, Stug versus an IS-2. Yeah, I think you can almost, you know, always know who's gonna win that fight. MG42 still on the field, hasn't actually gotten picked up by anybody. 0 at this point could benefit from this a lot. Could just simply stick it in the church if he doesn't want to micro it and, you know, defend more of his positions quite easily. Stug going into the field, but I'm not sure what the Stug can do. I mean, it can't really circle strafe an IS-2, even though the IS-2 does have a turret anyways. So it's just gonna sit there and take shots while trying to make shots. So I don't know. Shock troops up north, pushing away V2 Grand Squad. We do not have a medic bunker for Mojave, which I think is kind of hurting him at this point. Could have also hurt him with the KV-8, but KV-8 does kill infantry ridiculously fast, so might have not been that big of a deal, but, you know, if you can get your infantry at full strength out in the field, a little bit more chances for it to be alive. IS-2 still on the field, not pushing forward for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I would, as 0, just go forward. There is only a Stug, and you know that you killed the Panzer IV, so what is there to fear? Your artillery gun is not going to be able to hit you, so there you go. The IS-2 is pushing forward, going up against that Stug. Nice shot on that Stug, does a lot of damage, almost brings him to about half health. Keep on pushing forward. You want to be aggressive with that IS-2. Take the advantage. Grab the bull by the horns, as they say. Artillery barrage getting called into the center of that? No, onto the church over here. AT gun gets recruited by conscripts. It is very low in health, though, as a weapon itself, so they do run the risk of getting cleared out, but again, I'm not sure why 0 isn't pushing with his IS-2. Now it's a little bit too late. There is a pack gun produced by Mojave, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. IS-2 is very good at clearing out infantry, though, so look at that shot, and down goes a Grand Squad. So yeah, I mean, IS-2 is very good at clearing out infantry, so you don't discount it, but yeah. Shock troops pushing up forward. They're getting shot by that Stug. Stug, not the best against infantry, unfortunately. So it's not able to do much. The pack gun does get 2 of its men cleared out, and the IS-2 is just sitting back there and not doing a lot. Again, personally I would suggest more aggressiveness, but again, hindsight is 20/20, so it is very easy for me to say what he should do, considering that I can see the entire map while he can't. So he's being a little bit conservative with his IS-2. Ooh, very nice shot there. Actually burst the wow, yeah, very nice artillery shot there by the Mojave. Ignites the flamethrower on those combat engineers, and they barely make it out alive at 1 man. They were trying to repair that IS-2, so they took extra damage there, and very actually lucky to be alive. Mortar now in the field for 0, just, you know, adding more stuff to his army. Again, like I said, you know, he could pick up that MG42 and, you know, recruit it, but I guess he is a little bit worried on other stuff. Shock troops down south, just capturing territory. And we see the mortar taking some shots at something. Looks like the mortar is actually taking some shots at the artillery gun. Actually doing some decent damage there. But it is very forward, very exposed, so we'll see if it works out. IS-2 just holding position in the center of the map. We see the Stug taking some shots at that mortar squad. We see an AT gun set up to defend the mortar squad, but it's moving. Oh no, it's moving. And here comes the IS-2. The IS-2 is going straight for the Stug. It's going to take some shots by that pack gun, but it needs to keep on pushing forward. Just keep on pushing forward. Doesn't matter how much damage they do. You can get behind it and clear it out quite easily. It's at 25% health. Well, it does stop in front of it and take a nice shot. Clears it out. Keep on pushing forward. There is a man just running around over here. IS-2 decides to simply just turn around, take a shot at those Panzer Grenadiers. Down to 2 men, forces on the retreat, down to 1 man on the retreat. But again, the IS-2 just retreats. The IS-2 can eat Stugs alive in the frontal armor. Look at that Stug. They're so low in health, down to a sliver of health. Wasn't going to be able to finish off the IS-2 by no means. But, well, Zero, again, is still being a little bit conservative with his IS-2. Doesn't want to lose it. He doesn't want to risk it. If he saves enough manpower, could also get another KV-8.
AT gun here.
Both AT guns for Zero, holding position in the center of the map, center road. Conscripts just moving around, capturing territory. The mortar still opening up on the artillery gun, trying to clear it out, but not doing a very good job of it. Shock troops there set up for defense. Pack gun didn't actually get destroyed, so it's still there. Conscripts Uraying past. We did see a incendiary barrage being called in right on top of that AT guns. I mean the artillery gun. So down goes the artillery gun. It can get recruited, but the flames are going to prevent that for a little while. The IS-2 getting repaired now at about half health. The Stug is now almost back to full strength and is now at Vet 1. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to take out, but Zero has managed to triple cap and pretty much control the entire map. So we now see 204 corps for Zero, and Mojave is now less than 100. We are now at 89. So Mojave is in a very desperate position. He now has only, what, 2 Panzer Grenadier squads that can pretty much cap. One of them gets forced off of the field and gets cleared out. Wow, very nice shot there. And down to 1 Panzer Grenadier squad and a pack. The artillery gun got recruited. But, well, he needs to capture victory points, so or otherwise he's going to lose. The Stug is pushing into the center of the map. Not doing a lot. It did do some damage to those shock troops and force them off, but Mojave needs to cap. He's down to 65 points. Conscript pushing forward. The IS-2 now going forward. Back at full strength. Well, actually still a little sliver of health there left, but it looks like he is certain that he can end this right now, I guess. IS-2 takes a shot at those Panzer Grenadiers. And no. There it goes. Nice shot goes in and gets one of those Panzer Grenadiers. The IS-2 still not pushing forward. Down to 44 points on the Mojave. Still can't actually get into the map to capture anything. Grants are going to the south, trying to sneak by to capture points, but I think that's already too late. IS-2 hiding behind the house. The Stug is in the center of the map. IS-2 just needs to go for it. Actually takes a nice shot through the house onto the Stug and does some very good damage, bringing it to about half health. Stug trying to run away now, exposing its rear armor. The IS-2 is going to take a shot at it and destroys the engine, so this Stug is now dead. Down to 20 points for Mojave. Not much else he can do. He doesn't have infantry. He doesn't have tanks. And again, the IS-2 just backs away. There's times when you want to back away in this situation. You're so close to victory that you could just simply go to the base. Add insult to injury. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Just sometimes it pays off to be bold. And I believe Zero could have actually ended the game a while ago if he had been more aggressive with his IS-2. And there we go. Playback over. 0 points for the Mojave and a nice victory for Zero. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.